800 miles an hour. They'll be 100 feet apart, so these double rolls have got to be absolutely right. The air brakes around for that manoeuvre, and that's simply to make the smoke trail better, but also to change the shape of the barrel roll. Now, for our next manoeuvre, we need to look out to the front above the ridge line to pick up the main formation. I can't see them quite yet. There's smokes coming on now, which very shortly see them. There they are, just above the ridge, running in for a relatively new manoeuvre for the team. Shortly, red one will pitch up and barrel roll around the wings of the formation with red smoke on. There he goes. That leaves flanky, red two, to lead the formation for about 20 seconds of glory. And red one's smoke makes the mathematical symbol for infinity when you see it head on. So we call this the infinity break. That was a brand new manoeuvre last year, and we liked it so much we've included it this year as well. Okay, the synchro pair are back in from the right and left to fly the carousel. Crosses they're going to fly. The second is going to be just above the ridge, therefore it's more difficult than the first. The pilots here are crossing 100 feet apart, pulling about 6G around this turn, maybe 7, as they run back in to complete the carousels. The third pass and the most difficult one. Let's see how they get on. Somehow synchro makes that look easy. I assure you, believe me, it is not. Now the next place to look is above the ridge, just to the left of centre, towards the 10 o'clock position, and you'll see Enid coming over the top of the ridge there. The next manoeuvre is called the slalom, and you'll see why shortly. So red one calls them into line of stone, and they now stack down from top to bottom as reds 1 through 5. As they start this left-hand bend, the pilots beneath the leader need to swing out below him using lots of right rudder, rather like a pendulum. Now normally the even-numbered reds fly on the right-hand side of the formation and the odds fly on the left. As you see them now, it's the other way around. So we've got reds 3 and 5 on the right, 2 and 4 on the left, and we need to get them back to where they should be. So here comes the clever part of the slalom. There are a few people sucking air in through their teeth there. Believe me, to do that requires complete trust and coordination between those 5 pilots. And we do that by training for 7 months of the year, 3 times a day, 5 times a week, to reach the standard you see here at beautiful Dartmouth. But once again, it's time for us to go patriotic, and the red, white and blue smoke comes on as Enid completes the slalom. So looking out to the right-hand side then, here comes Jippo as they fly one of my favourite manoeuvres of the show. This is the amazing corkscrew. 6 and 7, the synchro pair, fly upside down in close formation, while 8 and 9 barrel roll around their smoke trails. Very quickly you can see why we call this the corkscrew. Very enthusiastic red 9 letting red 6 know that he's complete with the corkscrew. I absolutely love that manoeuvre. If you can imagine how difficult it is for them to fly close formation aerobatics the right way up, well, imagine how it is doing it upside down. Red 7 is the one who earns my respect in that manoeuvre. Okay, back out to the right hand side again, and above the ridge here comes Enid. This is one of their most impressive manoeuvres. These are what we call rollbacks. The inside pilots barrel roll around those on the outside, who then shuffle up to fill the gap. This is one of Enid's most difficult manoeuvres in the second half of the show, but again for me one of the most impressive. That was red 5. arrived Zane Sennett, very well spoken Zane Sennett, let the boss know he was very enthusiastically complete with his rollbacks. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, out to the front now in that little saddle, you'll see the headlights and smoke of Jippo formation as they fly their last manoeuvre as a four-ship together. This is the amazing Jippo break. I'll let the aircraft do the talking. I still find that manoeuvre extremely impressive. It looks like they're inches apart. There's a little bit of smoke and mirrors in there, so don't worry. Okay, the synchro pair remain with us, and out on the left is Pablo Red 6, on the right is Monty Red 7. This is their final pass together. So once again, building up to 400 miles an hour each, 800 miles an hour closure as they run in for their last pass together. It's my chance here to tell you a little bit about our support team, the Blues, our engineers and support staff, some of whom are here today in our PR tents where we'd love to see you. They're the Blues, represented by Pablo on the left, and on the right, representing the Reds and Monty. So, thank you, Reds to the Blues. And ladies and gentlemen, the synchro pair. Yeah, give them a big cheer. They were alright, weren't they? Thank you for that. I'm going to pass that back on to them. Okay, the finale of the show is on its way. Out to the front, ladies and gentlemen, here they are. The very British, the very patriotic Red Arrows. That is the end of our display. You'll see the aircraft are now rejoining to the front. Red 1 has his smoke on to facilitate the rejoin as the pilots head back up to Exeter Airport, which is where we were today to fly this display. But for us, it's not all over because the pilots are going to get into helicopters to fly down here to Dartmouth, and they're going to come into town later on, and you'll be able to find them at the Red Arrows PR tents, which I haven't found yet, but I believe it's somewhere along the front here at Dartmouth. So if you'd like to come and meet the pilots, it's a Coronation Park, I'm told. I haven't had a chance to go there myself yet, but if you would like to meet the Red Arrows, in about an hour or so's time, they should be back down here, and they'll be easily identifiable because it's almost impossible to blend in a bright red flying suit. We'd love to see you, so please do come and say hello, and you might catch us having a beer later in town, because we've got tomorrow off. The last thing I'll say is that the Red Arrows are going to be raising money for charity later in the year, in September and early October, as we ride 9 red scooters from Land's End to John O'Groats to raise money for 5 different charities, which include Help for Heroes, the RAF Benevolent Fund, WizKids Fly to Help and the Royal Air Forces Association. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it in just a second. Everyone's calling me.